Hey guys, I'm back and I am here to talk to you about some myths about breastfeeding. I breastfed my 2-year-old and I'm currently breastfeeding my 2-month-old, and the journey has been very different for both, and I feel like there's a lot of people who are talking more about their breastfeeding journey as it becomes more and more popular again to breastfeed versus bottle feed. To each their own, but I am here to talk about my own journey and my personal views on it, and let's dive right in. So the first thing that people tend to believe about breastfeeding is that the pain will last. So when my daughter was first born and my son, I had these terrible blisters. I had engorgement. It was painful. There was blood, and it was terrible. It didn't feel good. It felt like knives, and it wasn't a beautiful journey by any means for the first 2 weeks, I would say. But luckily I stuck through it, got through the pain, used different ways of getting rid of the engorgement and feeling a little bit better. And once I did, I'm so glad I did, because the rest of the journey was a little bit smoother. Once I learned what I was doing, once the baby learned what they were doing, it went a lot smoother. So just keep that in mind if you're choosing to breastfeed. Another myth that kind of goes around is that if you're losing 500 calories, that a lot of moms will go, okay, if I'm going to lose 500 calories a day just by breastfeeding, I'm totally going to do it. The only problem there is that you also have to eat an extra 500 calories or get an extra 500 calories for your body, for your milk supply, so it doesn't drop. There's different ways to make your milk supply go up, and there's different diets that are safe to do while breastfeeding. But just thinking, okay, well, I'm going to be able to sit down and just lose 500 calories, or why has so-and-so not lost the baby weight when she's nursing? It's kind of hard to say, because it's definitely you get those hunger strikes when you're nursing. After I nurse, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need something to eat. I'm really thirsty right now. There she is, swinging in the background. Hi, baby. She's dozing in and out. So that's kind of one of the myths. Another one is that you'll never leave the house. I don't like this one, because I feel like bottle feeding, nursing, you're still going to have to feed the baby somehow. So saying you're never going to be able to leave the house, well, here's the thing. Yes, I can't leave the house for an entire day and leave her with my husband. I can't. I could if I pumped. I choose not to, my own preference. But I do go to work for an hour and a half at a time, and I do come home and nurse in between working and such, and it works for me. Also, my child is very portable, so I bring her with me if I'm gonna go. I remember going to Stars on Ice when my son was 9 months old, and it was in Milwaukee, and you know what? I didn't have to worry about warming up a bottle. I didn't have to worry about traffic jams or anything like that. You pull off at a gas station and you just nurse. You don't have to carry around the bottle. You don't have to worry about warming it up. It's kind of a little convenient in that way. It's very, very portable. Wherever I am in the middle of the show, I can pull out my equipment and nurse, which is kind of nice. So that's kind of one of the myths, is that you'll never leave the house. I feel like I've done a lot since nursing, and I actually have not taken a break. So my 2-year-old son nursed until the day I went to the hospital to have my daughter. But we've done a lot of family vacations and a lot of different things, and it hasn't seemed to affect us in any way. It's just an adjustment, that's about it. So just an adjustment. All right, baby girl. All right, baby girl. Another myth is that people will judge you. Well, it's not really a myth. People will judge you. Unfortunately, there is nursing covers, which is nice. Sometimes the baby doesn't like using one, but there is always places to go if I'm out and about and I'm nursing. It doesn't necessarily have to be, okay, I'm gonna pull my entire shirt off and nurse, right? So there's more modest ways to do it if you choose to, but sometimes the outfit you're wearing that day doesn't work and you just gotta feed the baby. So I have nothing for you there. You just gotta learn to grin and bear it, or have always a really good thing to say. My thing is always, what, you've never seen a boob before? I love saying that to guys. Any guy that freaks out when I do that, oh, you've never seen a boob before, I'm really sorry. So just thinking of something clever to say for when you get those mom judgers, unfortunately. And I'm surprised I've actually had like men judging me. I'm like, really, just mind your own business. Most of it's women usually, but you got to do what you got to do as a mom, and a lot of times you have to have a really strong backbone. So those are kind of that's my breastfeeding journey and different myths that I wanted to talk about. And yeah, subscribe to my channel.